Hello, Gemini Risings. Welcome to your monthly zodiac reading for the month of September 2025. We are stepping into eclipse season, so that means that there is a lot happening this month, especially for you mutable signs. So let's not waste any time. As always, I will pull an overall energy theme. I will pull tarot for each week. We will discuss those tarot messages and the meanings of those cards, correlate those to the astrological transits occurring during those weeks, pull more clarifying cards, discover more messages, get a little bit more clarity about what's happening, and then we will wrap it up with some additional oracle guidance. So let's see what Gemini risings need to know for the month of September 2025. Communication is key. You pulled your own energy. How wonderful is that? So it could be that you guys are needing to focus on your communication, being open, being clear, being true to your communication style. And our communication style really does focus and center around the third house or even our Mercury placement. That depicts kind of how we tend to communicate as individuals. Let's see what the tarot has to say. What's going on? Why is communication the key for you this month? The Ten of Cups in reverse. The World, interesting. The Three of Wands. And in the fourth week, the Four of Cups. Okay. So here in the first week, we've got the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups in reverse can represent like a separation or loss within the home. It can also represent just a lot of disharmony or a lack of fulfillment within your very close personal connections. This could be within romantic relationships, between family members, or just a overall lack of fulfillment, like a lack of connection, maybe even between those closest to you. This is the week that Saturn will be retrograding back into the sign of Pisces, which means that themes that we experienced around maybe February and March of this year will be coming back to the surface. We will have to maybe revisit certain things, or we could have emotions that are coming back up. And that's because Saturn is trying to maybe get you to address certain things, like certain habits, certain ways of being, or is trying to maybe even get you to create a deeper sense of connection to yourself, to where it reflects a deeper sense of connection to those around you. We will also be experiencing Mercury moving into the sign of Virgo on the 2nd. Mercury is thoughts, ideas, communication. It's your ruling planet and is moving into your sister sign of Virgo. Virgo for you guys sits in your 4th house. This is your house of home. It's your house of family. It is your house of ancestral roots and emotional foundations. So it could be that with Mercury moving into Virgo, there is maybe the discontentment that you feel within your family life or within your home life is because maybe you're not communicating what you need. Maybe you're not communicating what's on your heart. Maybe you're not communicating at all, and it's creating this sense of disconnection within the home. So with Mercury moving into your sign, there's a chance to correct that. Okay. Here, also in the first week, Uranus, the planet of disruption, chaos, awakening, and innovation and rebellion, is moving or is going retrograde within your 1st house. So Uranus being in your 1st house is shaking you up personally. The 1st house represents not only how we view the world, but how the world views us. It's our first impression that we leave on people. If Uranus is sitting in the first house, you could be seen as very disruptive, kind of rebellious, and going against the grain or going against the norm of who you innately are. So this is going retrograde, which means that could dampen down or tamp down, and you're going to be reevaluating kind of these ways of thinking and changes that have been happening for you recently. Here in the second week, we have the World direct. This is a beautiful card to receive direct. This is the week that you will experience the full moon lunar eclipse within the sign of Pisces, with the nodal axis being along Pisces and Virgo. Mutable signs are feeling this more so than others. However, if you have prominent placements along Virgo and Pisces, those will be the people that feel it the most. But there's this new sense of wholeness, maybe a sense of completion and awareness that comes along with this full moon lunar eclipse. For you guys, Pisces sits in your 10th house. This is your house of career, your house of public image, and even reputation or social status. So it could be that maybe your social status, you are leveling up. Isn't that lovely? It could be that in your career, you are leveling up. But overall, when it comes to this full moon lunar eclipse, a lot of us are being asked to step further into the unknown and have more faith in the unknown. It could be that if you choose to begin to communicate clearer and communicate your needs and your wants and your desires to those closest to you, not only will it create a deeper connection with them, like those closest to you, but it can also create a deeper connection to yourself, which is what the world can represent, a sense of wholeness or a sense of completion. This is also when we will experience a Sun and Mercury cazimi within the sign of Virgo. A cazimi is what happens when a planet is sitting right next to the sun in a particular sign. And what it is that the sun's light illuminates and amplifies the themes and qualities of that planet. Again, it's Mercury and it's sitting in the sign of Virgo. So it could be that there is this truth that is revealed that feels maybe a little bit like freedom. It's this understanding that everything is connected, and it is this deeper sense of wholeness and connection. Here in the third week, we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is kind of like waiting for something to develop, waiting for your ships to come in, or just kind of overall waiting to see what happens with something. This is the week that Mercury, again, your ruling planet, will move into the sign of Libra. Libra sits in your 5th house. This is your house of self-expression, hobbies, passions, creativity, one-off love affairs, and even children, right? So it could be that when it comes to things like growth and creativity and passion, you're kind of waiting to see how something develops. Maybe you've got a new idea, and maybe you're waiting to see how you feel about it. You're kind of letting that new idea, that sense of creativity, or that new sense of desire to marinate a little bit. We are also Venus will be moving into the sign of Virgo. Venus is love, money, beauty, value, and self-worth, and she is moving into the sign of Virgo. She's not very comfortable in Virgo. Virgo is it's very organized, it's very structured. Venus is not very at home here. She does not feel comfortable here. So she will not be amplified, or she will not be at her fullest potential in this particular sign. But Venus could make things at home. Maybe you have this creative idea to restructure the house, to add new things, to maybe add more art or more whimsy to your home, maybe even redecorate in some way. Here in the 4th week, this is the week that we will experience a new moon solar eclipse within the sign of Virgo. This is the 2nd new moon that will occur within 30 days. So that's a very rare thing that occurs. It only happens like every 33 months or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And again, Virgo for you guys is in your 4th house. This is your house of home, family, ancestral roots, things like that. Here in this last week, we will also experience Mars moving into the sign of Scorpio. So Mars is the planet of action, aggression, desire, passion, and assertion. And it's moving into one of its traditionally home signs, Scorpio. Scorpio sits in your 6th house. This is your house of day-to-day routines, health, and work habits. So with Mars moving into that sign, the Four of Cups could actually be indicating that maybe there is this sense of needing to focus on meditation, maybe needing to focus on self-reflection, because that is something that with Mars sitting in your house, or Scorpio sitting in your house of day-to-day routines, that is something you should probably be doing on a day-to-day basis, right? And that may be what the Four of Cups is telling you. Look, you need to really sit down, meditate, because there's clarity here. If you're feeling apathetic, if you're feeling bored, this is really what needs to be taking place on a day-to-day basis, especially with the new moon solar eclipse. Virgo is all about the South Node is sitting in Virgo. So we're looking at things like being overly critical. We're looking at habits of perfectionism and feeling like Virgo is very like duty-bound service, always wanting to be service of others, but feeling obligated to be of service, right? So this new moon in Virgo is actually allowing an ending to come to those things, but you may not realize it if you're not doing the deep reflective work that is happening. I also notice here the new moon in Virgo is happening in your 4th house. This is also the number 4. 4 represents stability, structure, and foundation. So it could be that meditation and deep reflective thought is something that is foundational to your sense of well-being. And it might actually be what curbs this feeling of, like I said, boredom and apathy. Okay. We will also be experiencing the transitioning into Libra season as well as the fall equinox. Anytime we shift into a new astrological season, the themes and qualities of that sign tend to take center stage. For Libra, this is about like creating connection. It is connection with other people, connection to ourselves. It is also about themes of like social justice and balance and harmony. But what I love is that we are also experiencing the fall equinox. And typically around the fall equinox, we get to experience things like fall festivals, carnivals, and fairs where we get to be social and we get to celebrate the fall season with other people. So that's a beautiful little correlation to keep in mind. Let's see what correlating messages we can experience, or correlating messages, but just correlating messages that we can get through clarifying cards. I feel like I'm talking too much at this point. It's like sometimes the more I try to clarify things and the more I talk, the more convoluted it gets. So you know what? Let's just get to it. Let's just see what clarifying messages can come out for you guys. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. And the Five of Swords, so 2 5s. 5 represents chaos, challenge, conflict, and change. So if there's disharmony and there could be arguments between you and others, so like I said, the 10 of Cups in reverse is like a disconnect between you and maybe the people closest to you, maybe people within your home life. And the Five of Swords is about arguments. It's about conflict, verbal conflict, right? Maybe words and things that are said that feel a little harsh and maybe cut to the bone. Communication is key here. Okay, so if there is a disconnect between you and people close to you, if you feel like your home life is very unfulfilling, or that maybe your relationships are lacking something, recognize one, that the challenges that you're experiencing or the hardships that you're experiencing are divine intervention. And I know that's really hard to grasp, but that is what the Five of Pentacles in reverse can indicate, that what's happening now was meant to happen. And it could be because it is forcing you and those closest to you to say things that you wouldn't normally say. It's forcing you, it's forcing communication in a way. But the Five of Pentacles can also represent that, look, if there are arguments, if there is stress, if there is mental combativeness or mental conflict that is happening within yourself or even amongst your relationships, those hard times are coming to an end. They're not going to last forever. And the thing about this to remember is that this too shall pass. Okay? So whether this lack of fulfillment is happening, or this lack of like emotional joy and happiness that we typically see with the Ten of Cups direct, if that is lacking in your life, recognize that these hard times are coming to an end. But what has happened was meant to maybe instigate, like I said, communication between those and those that you love, and even with yourself. Okay. So that could be what Saturn retrograding in Pisces and Mercury moving into the sign of Virgo is trying to get you to do. It's trying to get you to communicate with those that you care about. It's trying to get you to maybe create a deeper sense of intimacy by instigating conflict. Conflict that forces you to communicate. And I know that's like, you're like, that's a really messed up way to get me to communicate. But sometimes we won't move otherwise. We won't move until we're forced to move. We won't change until we're forced to change. And that's kind of what this energy is giving, is that Mercury moving into Virgo, communication in the home life, communication again with family members, maybe even a mother figure, a nurturing figure. These hard times are not going to end, but these hard times that you've been experiencing were ultimately meant to create this sense of deeper connectedness and communication. Okay. Here in the second week, the World card, feeling a sense of wholeness, a deeper sense of awareness, maybe leveling up in your career or your social status. The Three of Cups, very nice. Celebration, feeling really good, celebrating with friends even. And the Three of Swords. Just, if there are hardships that are occurring within your personal life, if you are unhappy within a relationship, you need to communicate that. Because if not, it invites an outside influence, whether that is another person. I'm not going to do a third party thing that a lot of readers will do. I'm not going to insinuate that because there needs to be more clarification. However, if we are not creating a deeper sense of connection between those that we care about, it can leave room open for other things to influence that connection and how we feel within that connection. Okay? So with the Three of Swords here, there is a need to accept a sense of separation and loss. So for some of you, if there is disharmony within your closest relationships, maybe even within the home or within a partner, you need to communicate that. Be upfront before something happens that you regret. All right? If you feel like that does not apply to you, perfect. That's great. The World card is representing that there is a deeper sense of wholeness and connection within yourself. There's a deeper sense of awareness. Maybe you need more fun. The Three of Cups is about celebration. And it's maybe that you need more fun. You need more joy in your life. Maybe you need more friendship, and you need more of a support system within your life. And that can allow you to accept some of the hardship and the loss that maybe you've been experiencing. Okay? So if that's the case, this sense of deeper connection and wholeness. Maybe if you allow yourself to communicate what it is that you need, if you're like looking at your partner or your family, you're like, I need more support from you. I'm feeling very lonely out here. I'm dealing with loss, I'm dealing with hardship, and I need more support. I need more of a support system. Communicate that. Tell people that you cannot do it on your own, or that you don't want to do it on your own, and ask for their support. And I have no doubt that the people who really love you will be more than happy to give it. But we can't expect people to be mind readers. So if you're needing more connection, if you're needing more support, you're going to need to say that. Here in the third week, this is the week with Mercury moving into Libra. Libra is sitting in your 5th house of self-expression, creativity, passion, one-off love affairs. Again, be careful about leaving that door open. But we have 3 of Wands, which is kind of like waiting for your ships to come in, waiting to see how something develops. If you've chosen to tell people that you need more support, you need more fun, you need more celebration or friendship or connection, and you're like, I'm waiting to, now that I've communicated that, I'm waiting to see what happens. We have the Hanged Man. There's a sense of pause, a sense of reflection that is occurring. And very nice, putting down the 10 of Wands in reverse, putting down a lot of responsibility that you feel. Putting down a lot of responsibility that you feel. Because the 10 of Wands in reverse can represent, or the 10 of Wands direct represents a lot of responsibility, a lot of burden that you're carrying around. Whatever you've been carrying has become a very heavy weight. But when this card shifts in reverse, we're now putting that weight down. We're giving yourself permission to put that down. So if you've communicated that you need more support, if you've communicated that you need more connection and joy and happiness and fun in your life, that's beautiful. Now you're just waiting for the right opportunity to be able to experience that. And in the meantime, the Hanged Man is giving you a moment to pause and reflect so that you can begin to release that burden. If you've been holding the burden of, I've been doing this all myself, it's going to take a second to adjust to the realization that you don't have to do it all yourself. And the Hanged Man is giving you a moment to pause and reflect and recognize that you don't have to do that, and you can actually put it down, right? Sometimes we have the tendency to take on responsibilities, emotions that don't actually belong to us, right? And sometimes we end up carrying all these sticks and all these wands of responsibility and duty that just, like I said, they don't belong to us, okay? Here, again, in the last week, the 4 of Cups, the new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. New moons represent new beginnings, and solar eclipses have the tendency to create a new beginning by revealing truths, by shaking things up a little bit. And with this being at the 29th degree, this is creating an ending. If you want things to change in your life, you're going to potentially have to do the self-reflective work. Again, the 4 of Cups is boredom. It's apathy. The whole idea of why even bother. Okay? But with Mars moving into your 6th house, self-reflection needs to be something that you do every single day, because there's a realization here, something that could change this sense of boredom and frustration. Let's see. The High Priestess, listening to your intuition. The High Priestess is an energy of intuition and trusting your intuition and connecting to yourself to access that deeper wisdom that innately lies within us. In the Chariot, how beautiful. If you want to know, this is going to play out beautifully, but if you want to know, if you're bored and you're like, I don't know what to do, this is how my life has felt. My life has felt this way for a while. I don't know what to do. Ask. See, he's solitary. He's in a sense of solitude under this tree. He's pondering, he's taking time to himself to really think about it, but his mind is solely focused on these 3 cups. He's so focused on these 3 cups that feel unfulfilling that he's completely missing out on this gift from the divine. So if you're wanting to know what direction to go, what you can do to change this, ask. Go into that sense of deeper self-reflection and you will find your answer. Your intuition will kick in and it will tell you exactly what it is that you need to do in order to move forward. That's beautiful. It will tell you exactly what you need to do in order to move forward. It will tell you exactly what you need to do to come into alignment with your path forward. And it will tell you exactly what it is that you need to do to take control of the situation and begin your journey. I love that. Last but not least, let's get some oracle guidance to wrap it up. Beauty sleep. Sleep on it. If you're feeling unhappy within your home, if you're feeling like maybe you want to say things that might cut like a knife, you need to sleep on it. Don't act impulsively. Do not act impulsively, because when we say, words are something that we cannot take back. We can apologize and we can take accountability for what is said, but we can't take it back. And sometimes the things that we say cut deeper than what we would intend in that moment. So if you're feeling the urge to communicate on impulse, if you are feeling the urge to say things that might cut like a knife, sleep on it. You need to get some rest. You need to allow yourself to really think about what it is that you want to say before you say it. Okay? Practice the pause. I know it's hard. You guys are very quick with your words. That's just who you innately are. However, sometimes there are things that we don't want to say or that we don't intend to say. Get in touch with your body. What do you need right now? Maybe you need some water. I mean, these 3 ladies are holding up cups. Maybe you need some water. I don't really necessarily, but yeah, stay hydrated for one. Drink something other than alcohol or sodas or whatever it is that you're drinking. Like, get in touch with your body. Your body will tell you exactly what it is that you need. And again, it may tell you that you need more support. It may tell you that you need more vegetables. It may tell you that you need more rest. And it may tell you that you need that connection. You need that support. And that is what your body is trying to get, is trying to tell you. Here in the 3rd week, be open to receiving. Be open to receiving. So with the 3 of Pentacles, with the 3 of Wands and the Hanged Man, this feels like a moment of reflection. It feels like a pause. Stop trying to do too much. Doing more is not going to create this sense of fulfillment, right? It's almost like, I just keep imagining this person digging a hole deeper and deeper in the ground, thinking that if they do, they're going to find what they're looking for. If I keep digging, I'm just going to find what it is that I'm looking for. No, you're not. That clearly hasn't worked. That's why you need to get some rest. It's why you need to get in touch with your body. It's maybe why you're feeling disconnected. Doing more is not going to benefit you. But taking a moment to self-reflect, taking a moment to gain a different perspective will. Okay? And you have to be open to receiving. But if you're buzzing around like a little bee, doing everything, doing all of the things, that's not going to work, because then your hands are too full. If you're consistently carrying around all these wands, your hands are entirely too full and are not in a position to receive anything that the universe can give you. Okay? So be open to receiving here in this third week. And then here in this last week, boom, prioritize reflection. If you're not sure where to go, if your mind is telling you, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do, what is my next move? Boom. You need to prioritize reflection, and it will clearly tell you. Your intuition will clearly tell you what needs to happen so that you can move forward. I mean, you can't make that up. That was right on the money. That was right on the money. And that's perfect. This is perfect. It goes in line with your overall theme for the month. Communication is key. Communicate to the people around you that you need more support. Communicate to yourself that you're like, I can't keep doing this. All these things that I'm doing are not fulfilling me the way I need it to. All of these things that I'm doing, and then asking yourself, what is the way forward? Asking the divine, asking your higher self, what do I do to move forward? Communication is key, whether it is with other people or whether it is yourself. That is your key to success for the next month. So I truly hope this reading helped. I hope you guys have an incredible month, and we will see you next time.